Hey guys, this is Blake from Blake's Sanctum, retro site for retro games. Subscribe.
Hey guys, today I am bringing you a very special and sort of unplanned video series that's ended up being a very big one, and that is on Sins of the Prophets, another mod for Sins of the Solar Empire, and this one is based on the Halo universe. And while this beautiful, gorgeous intro plays out, I'll break down what we're going to cover in this video. Now, firstly, I'll give a bit of info and history about this mod, and then I'll talk about the races you can play as in the mods and their advantages and disadvantages. Then I'll sort of talk about some of the techs and the cool artwork used in the game, and then finally I will cover a massive multiplayer game that I played with the guys that goes for a few hours, so this will be a multi-part series. So if you already know about Sins of the Prophets and you want to skip straight to the multiplayer game, then check the time skip links in the video description below and that'll get you to where you need to go. So the start of this video, where I'm talking about the game and the races, is probably going to go on for a bit, so I'm warning you guys now. If you're just here for the multiplayer game, then use that time skip link. But if you're new to this mod and you want a tour of the features, races, leaders, ships and techs, etc., while seeing some unique footage of some big ships and battles from my single player games, then stick around. So let's start with that intro video. Since as fan-made intros for mods for Sins of the Solar Empire go, that has got to be one of the best. It almost looks like they sort of started with in-game footage and then did a whole bunch of fancy post-processing effects on it, or they just sort of imported the models into something else. As you can tell, it's a 3D environment, but my god, the absolute beautiful effects and detail on the planets and ships and everything, and the music, so atmospheric. Even this menu makes you feel like you're in a different game to regular Sins of the Solar Empire and other mods that you see. Now this whole journey started with me being a huge Star Trek Armada player and wanting to try out the Armada 3 mod for Sins of the Solar Empire. And regular viewers of my channel will know that I've done some videos on that now, talking about how amazing that game is, and just, you know, the beautiful models of all your favourite Star Trek ships going at it in these massive battles. And how you can, you know, just play huge games with heaps of players and AIs and sort of create your own adventures, because there's just so much Star Trek content in there. And, you know, I talked for years about trying it out one day with my friends, and they were all like, yeah, you know, because none of them had played Sins, and just like me. And so, you know, one day I sort of pushed the issue and was like, guys, let's try this, let's give it a go. And so, you know, we tried it out and were so blown away that we all became Sins addicts. And before we knew it, we're trying out other mods. And, you know, the guy, I sort of turned all my mates into Sins addicts, and they were all sort of trying out the Star Wars mods and the Stargate SG-1 mod and stuff like that. And, you know, I think there was a day where I wasn't at James's house, and he and some of the other guys were just playing around without me, and they were like, well, you know, what's the best Sins mod out there? We want to try something new. And they went looking, and they found this one, Sins of the Prophets. And they saw that it was the most popular one out there and thought, well, let's find out why, even though they weren't Halo players. And I must admit, I'm not a Halo player either, so I'm sorry if people come to this a massive Halo addicts and they're like, how could you not know about it? But, you know, I'm not a big first-person shooter gamer. I used to be in the late 90s and early 2000s, but I just lost interest and became far more of a strategy gamer, and if I do play a first-person game these days, it's usually, you know, purely sort of, you know, hardcore RPG stuff like Elder Scrolls and things. But and you know, also none of us had Xboxes, and you know, by the time the Halo games got to PC, yeah, I think most of us had sort of lost interest in hardcore first-person games in my group of friends. But anyway, you know, that didn't matter because this mod was so good, it just blew us away. The quality was just incredible. Like everything is so good. The artwork and the ship models and just everything is absolutely stunning. So if you're not a Halo player and you're more of a strategy gamer like we are, then don't worry. You're still gonna love this too, because it is so immersive. And obviously there's been so many Halo games and a cartoon and all sorts of stuff that there's such a deep, detailed, awesome universe for this mod to pick things from that that is why it's just so good, and the quality just will blow you away. So let's get into things. Basically, just like other Sins mods and the regular Sins games, you've got lots of different game modes to try. There's different galaxy sizes, there's preset scenarios, you can have lots of AIs against you, all humans, and you can play, team games, and of course you can go into the game options and change a lot of the standard sort of game modes where you've got conquer victory and diplomatic victory and all sorts of stuff. However, this game, one of the things that makes this mod so special is that it has this unique flood mode survival option, where if you turn that on, it makes the game half impossible but very fun, as you all battle to survive as long as you can against this incredibly powerful flood, who are not a playable faction. They sort of take over the pirate faction. If you're a regular Sins players, you'll know that most games, the original game and the mods, will have a pirates faction that's basically will harass you while you're trying to deal with the major players, and this is like a super powerful version of the pirates, that basically their ships can fire stuff that turns your own ships against you permanently. Like, they permanently capture your ships, kind of like how the Borg assimilate things in the Star Trek mod, except in the Star Trek mod the Borg couldn't assimilate capital ships. Well, guess what? These guys can. So you can have these massive capital ships that you've spent a fortune on, and these guys will fire like one shot at them and it becomes theirs. It's that bad. However, some of the really super cap ships are immune to them, so it becomes a real race to try and get to those super cap ships to try and survive. And, we'd all failed. None of us have been able to do it. So most of the time we just turn flood mode off and have conventional games with the regular factions going at it, which just in that mode it seems to be more difficult than other mods. We seem to struggle a lot more with this one. However, I played some single player games on my own and I was able to finally get some victories. Now, when you start a new game, you can choose your factions. And in this mod, there are only 2 playable factions. Now, I realise that might disappoint some people who've played, other mods or original Sins and seen the multitude of playable factions in those. But these factions are so well done and there's so much depth to them that, you'll forget about that pretty quick. And like I said, there's plenty of player slots, so you can just duplicate them and still have massive games against lots of enemies and things. And the humans are very, I wouldn't recommend playing as them if you're new to the mod. I'd recommend you play as the common at first, which I'll get into them in a minute, to get used to the game, and then have a go at the humans. Mainly because the humans, in my opinion, are a little bit harder to play as. They have some amazing advantages, but you just need to be a little more used to the game before I think you can be good enough to take advantage of their strengths. And basically, their strengths are that they can expand really quickly because their capital ships are cheap, they move around systems really fast, and one of their first capital ships that you get at the start of the game has the colonize ability, like a lot of starting capital ships in other mods in Sins 2. But it also has this amazing factory ability where you can deploy orbital factories from the ship that will massively increase the speed and massively reduce the cost of all colony projects. So, I found it quite handy in human games to literally deploy the factories and pre-order everything I wanted on the planet before the factory timer ran out. And you could save so much and have a fully developed colony in no time at all. It was absolutely amazing. And you could, increase this ability and get something like, I think, 70% bonus to both speed and cost reduction by the end, which was just amazing. So you can expand really fast. However, their ships are quite weak. They have no shields. They are completely reliant on armor. So they get a lot of cool armor bonuses, but even with them, the ships still feel kind of like glass. Like, they can get blasted really quickly. So it's important to have numerical superiority when going into battle. You want to have more ships than the enemy, and they have generally human ships have a longer range than alien ships as well. So it's important to basically hunt in packs and sit back from a distance and just hurl a whole lot of ordnance at the enemy. Humans are not brilliant at making money, but they're still okay at it. But they're very good at making resources because they have strong trade refineries. Their star bases are weaker than the alien ones, but if you pick the right leader, which I'll get into later, you can build 2 star bases, which is very useful. And they get really strong turrets that can fire like halfway across the system, so ships can jump in and get blasted before they even get near the planet, which is epic. I've never seen that in any of the other mods I've tried. And there's an upgrade in the starbase called Microwave, which doubles the attack strength of all nearby turrets. So if you've got the super very smack turrets around the starbase, they can just blast entire fleets of capital ships. They're absolutely deadly. However, if the enemy gets too close, they can pick them off quite quickly because, once again, no shields. And even the star bases can fall relatively quickly, which is why I usually prefer to pick the leader that allows 2 of them, because one of them just doesn't really cut it. And lastly, the humans are very slow through jump lanes, so they take ages to move from system to system, which can be quite annoying. I was having a game as the humans against the AI, and literally every time I flew between one system to another, the AI would have more than enough time to jump its fleets into the system I just left and start blowing stuff up. And by the time I was back, half the system would be gone. It was incredible how slow the human ships are through the jump lanes. The humans do get 1 ship with shields, which is their Titan. You can build 1 Titan, which is this massive, powerful ship with shields, which can really take it to the enemy. But it can be swarmed pretty easily, so you still want to support it with lots of standard heavy human ships, which, you can build some pretty big ones with lots of armor, but, without the shields, you still got to be careful with them, and it's important to build a lot of them. And thankfully, the fleet and command cap sizes in this game are higher than most other mods I've tried, so you can build massive fleets and really, kick some ass. Now let's have a look at the technologies. I love the tech trees in this mod. It's way different to standard Sins mods. Normally you have these little tiny icons, whereas here it's these huge icons that seem to almost tell a story, because when you hold the mouse over each one of them, it gives you all the cool things that they do, but also has all this sort of, text you can read and info. Lore, that it taps into. And as for the artwork, I guess Halo players can tell me whether it's all sort of ripped from various things in Halo games, or whether talented fan artists have drawn all this stuff themselves from known Halo content. So it's either way, it's absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, once you get down to the Admiralty area, you can pick between 3 leaders, and this is very important and you need to do this at the start because it has a significant impact on your games, in that each of the leaders have access to certain technologies or ships that the others don't. And for the humans, you get a choice between Vice Admiral Cole, who's sort of more geared towards attacking things, so he'll get some nice bonuses to some of his attack and speed and things like that. And he'll get access to the best battleship in the game, which I think is the Thanatos, which is, a little, it's not that much more powerful than the Punic carrier, so that's why I was willing to make the sacrifice in this game and pick a different leader, but nevertheless, I wish I could have got that ship. Vice Admiral Stanforth is he's sort of a mix of sort of economic bonuses and defense and attack and speed and all that kind of stuff. But Fleet Admiral Hood, I went with him because he is all about defensive stuff, which I'm usually quite a bit of a defensive player, so I like that kind of stuff, and he gets a lot of great benefits to turrets and colonies and and most importantly star bases. He's the one that allows you to have 2 star bases, and he makes starbase upgrades cheaper as well, which is very useful. And of course, just like in regular Sims games, you've got the nice artifact archaeology stuff where you can find cool super weapons and things on various planets when you go exploring. Now, the other faction is the Covenant. The Covenant are a religious alien coalition. I think there's several aliens in them. They're powerful zealots who sort of purge the galaxy of all those who are unworthy. And they have massive ships that are almost all of their ships are like Titans. And they actually don't get a Titan, but that's okay, because like I said, most of their ships are like Titans, and thankfully also means you're not limited to just having one, you can build a whole lot of them. And their ships have massive shields that can, it's why I recommend that they are good for first-time players, because you're a bit safer with them. That being said, the shields do go down quite quickly, so it's important to still, build up those numbers. Otherwise, your ships can get swarmed by packs of human ships if you're not careful. The Covenant ships are very fast through jump lanes, as I mentioned before, so you can get between systems really quickly, which is cool. However, they're quite slow in systems. So, trying to run away from a human fleet is, usually equals death. By the time you realise you're going to lose the battle, it's probably too late because you're not going to run away in time. But once you've got a handful of their sort of mid-range capital ships, which have 50,000 shield points and stuff, once you've got a pack of them, you can take it to anything, and you can do enormous amounts of, you can just kick ass and have multiple fleets smashing in different directions, because you're just so powerful. Their planets are quite expensive to develop, certainly compared to the humans, because they don't have a lot of those cheap specials, but they get high populations, so they can make quite a lot of money. They're of course weaker than the humans in producing resources, but still not too bad. Probably their biggest weakness is planetary defense. They get pretty sort of standard turrets that don't have amazing range, and they can be blown up pretty quickly. You can back them up with repair stations and shield stations to make them last longer, but usually they can get picked off by the human ships pretty easily, especially as the humans can sit back at long range and just hurl epic amounts of firepower at these little stations, and they just can't stand up to it. They're definitely much weaker than the human turrets, as they have nowhere near the range or the firepower. So usually if you're a Covenant player, you're going to be defending yourself with fleets of powerful ships most of the time, and just having a few turrets to clean up any sneaky sort of little weak forces that might try to sneak around behind your fleet's back. The Covenant's top battleship is absolutely amazing. Once you fully upgraded it, as you can see in this footage, its shields get over 100,000. It is just incredible. It's more powerful than the human's Titan, probably, or I don't know. The human's Titan is quite deadly, but you can go toe to toe with it. Except you're not limited to building one. You can build a whole fleet of them, and once you've got a fleet of these guys, it's game over for anyone else, as they are super powerful. They have these beams that can just fire across the map and smash everything. They're so awesome. And you probably also notice the shields activating nearby those turrets that I was talking about before. And as for the technologies, once again, beautiful artwork, absolutely gorgeous artwork of all the Covenant architecture and species and technology and weaponry. It's really nice to look through it all and read the text and learn about it, the universe that you're playing in. Really fun stuff. And of course we eventually get down to the leaders, where once again tough decisions have to be made. And once again the top leaders sort of vary about attacking and fast attacking and that kind of stuff. But the middle leader's the one I normally go as even though I'm a bit of a defensive player, like I said before, the defenses that the Covenant get are pretty lousy. I'm not a huge fan of them, so I would actually rather strengthen my fleet and economy. So that's what I think the middle leader's good for, because he gets trade bonuses. And one of my favourite things about him is that he gets shield bonuses. And of course the Covenant, it's all about the shields, because once the shields go down, your ships really are even more glassy than the human ones. It doesn't matter how much bloody armour bonuses you have. You pretty much, once the shields are down, it's safe to say that ship's going to die. And so it's really important to get all the shield bonuses that you can get via technology and via leaders. So I love that one about him. And he also gets some nice planetary logistics bonuses and allegiance, which all helps the economy. And he also has ship training bonuses. So I think once you've got all the technologies for training plus this leader, you can train your ships up to like level 6 or something, which is gives you a huge advantage over people who have not properly trained their ships up to a high level. So this is why you'll see me picking this in the multiplayer game I'll be showing you shortly. And finally, what makes this leader win for me is that he gets an extra 2 capital ship slots. That's 2 more of those super warships if you get to the late game. And he also gets that super warship, the one I was showing you. He's the only leader who can get that ship, and it is amazing. Now, James and Mick, they actually prefer the third leader, the defensive one. He has a number of bonuses to stations, planetary defense, and armor. But like I said above, armor, who cares about that? Once the shields go down, you're stuffed. As the Covenant. So, I don't value him highly, but the guys love him because he gets the mobile starbase battle station. Covenant have 2 starbases. One of them is a regular starbase, which you saw me hovering the mouse over earlier. It's quite a strong station, has a lot of cool special abilities, but there's also a different mobile version of it, and that version doesn't have as many cool abilities, but it does have some really powerful abilities. And once you fully upgraded it, it can go toe-to-toe with a lot of things. Although in my experience, I went up against one flood ship and it killed the station, so that's why I really don't rate it. But I've seen James using it quite effectively in the multiplayer game I'll be showing you guys soon. So they are certainly good. I think they also have really good fleet buffs on the station too. So if you combine it with a bunch of ships, you can do a lot of damage. Whereas me personally, I think that best ship in the game is more powerful than the station, so I'd rather have a giant fleet of them personally, and you'll see me using them. And of course, once again, we get the artifacts. You can see I've had a few cool ones in this game. I'm going to warn you guys in advance, I have no freaking luck with artifacts in a multiplayer game. So let's get on to that. I got the guys together, and thankfully where we live in the world, in South Australia, things are currently quite good with the COVID-19 situation. We've eradicated it from our state. Some other states in Australia are not so lucky, so this rules are all relaxed here in South Australia. So we were actually finally able to have a proper in-person LAN party together instead of doing it over the net. Because some of the regular viewers of my channel will notice some of my recent videos were done over virtual private networks with us all talking to each other through Skype because we couldn't meet up, whereas this time we met up again, which was nice to see the guys again and hang out and have a few beers and eat some extremely unhealthy takeaway food and play some games. And so yeah, we did this one, and we attempted the dreaded flood mode. But we hadn't had a single victory at a LAN party. So when I made this video, I fully expected that this was going to be basically a 1-hour video. We were going to get slaughtered by the flood. And, I got the guys together. It was James and Mick, and David was able to make it to this one. And David had never played this mod before, so this was his first time. We'd warned him that he was going to die horribly. And in the end, it was quite a surprise what happened. This ended up being a much bigger video than planned, so I hope you guys enjoy what I've made. Now, before I start the footage we recorded, I should warn you guys, we had a number of setbacks, unfortunately. This mod is, I would say, less stable than some of the other ones, like Armada 3. So it does like to crash every now and then. And we had a whole bunch of them. And also just bad luck. Like, James's partner, Jane, just strolled in and, looked at me using the computer, saw the power cord leading to the computer and just unplugged it because she needed it for something. And when I looked at her with a stunned face, she was like, well, I plugged it back in. I was like, What's good's that gonna do? And in her defense, she thought I was using a laptop and that it would just go to battery. No, I wasn't on a laptop. I was on a regular PC, and that PC was doing this video. So yeah, that caused a lot of problems. But thankfully, we had an autosave, and I was able to rescue the video file eventually after a lot of problems that I won't go into. So thankfully you guys do have a nice HD video of the first half an hour of this game. You nearly didn't. And then James is really fat. This cat's massive. It's like 8 kilos. It's a huge cat. Decided to plonk its ass on my phone, which was recording all our voices. So for a few minutes our voices will become muffled until we noticed what the cat was doing and we kicked it off. And, then like I said, all the crashes happen. So it's just one bloody thing after another. But I'm gonna, edit out all the 10-minute gaps between us trying to set up the games again and loading autosaves and everything. I'm gonna try and cut it together so it's all nice and smooth for you guys, so you can just enjoy the match. Oh, and a final disclaimer I want to throw in is that I'm a late night guy, and the guys wanted to have a really early start, so I only had about 1 hour's sleep before the LAN party, so my short-term memory was shot. So you'll probably see me forgetting things and doing stupid stuff in the match, so I'm sorry about that. However, amazingly by the end, I actually come out on top of most of the stats. Alright, I'm going to stop gas bagging, the tour is over, let's get to the multiplayer game.
Alright, if you're ready, click the box. Diff. What the hell does diff mean anyway?
On the car, differential.
Yeah, on the game. Bizarre.
Do you have to hit start, James?
Okay.
Oh, that didn't work.
Mine just went to desktop.
James had broken the internet.
It says I'm okay, and then everyone else is migrating.
James is wigged out.
King Fox.
Yeah, I'll just restart that.
Alright, everyone hop out.
Everybody ready? Alright, hang on. So much that's good.
Oh, that was much quicker.
Let's see if it goes in now or whether it fucks
That's
up
weird.
online again.
I went in super fast, and now I'm waiting for you guys.
At least I'm in.
I'm in too.
That was really weird.
Camera guys, pick your leader.
Yes.
That's why you can't put all the leader tech straight away, because they do require still the tech buildings. Oh yes, now to get that second capital ship, remember that trick, Dave? I'll show you.
Council of Masters.
Yeah, Council of Masters.
With their favor. And that's it for tech for the moment.
That now. Oh, exploration ships work the same as an Armada 3. It's got to set them to automatically explore.
Are they the DAV class ones?
DRV, I think. So
Recovered in South Grove.
you guys are
By
close
my
enough.
hand.
Oh, yeah, I haven't looked to see where I am.
So Dave, you don't want to try and take a planet that's got United level front on it until you're a bit more advanced in
But you won't find out till you get there.
text. Wait for it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you see that, then move out of it.
Let us know how you go.
A new propagatable planet has been discovered. The ancients grace us with their favor. A new propagatable planet has been discovered.
Oh, and your exploration ships have a cloaking device, although they're not particularly smart at using it on their own, so I often have to manually tell them to stop them dying. But, who has time to monitor every single exploration ship?
On your Titan ship, which special weapon did you go for? Ability?
I think I'll go for sweeping beams first, just to give it a bit more of a killing ability to clear out neutrals.
If you get a chance, pick the flux capacitor as well.
For Dave, reverence, salvation.
So I think to get working sound in the video, I've lost sound on my speaker. Bloody OBS and this computer. Right? I'm always having problems.
Our ally is under assault.
Okay, so how's this going?
Yeah.
We await your orders.
One heavy cruiser gone.
The hierarchs demand your destruction.
So the planet's already fully developed, if starting planet.
Yeah, that too.
Well, it is, but later on you have the ability to, as you research more things, they'll become available. Like more slots.
Audio cues, what I'm really going to suffer.
And we're close by, so that's good.
So you're green?
Mm-hmm.
The covenant shall grow by my hand. Open up.
How's your job going, Dave?
Covenant shall
Still there for another couple of months, and they're looking for other work for me within RAA, so that's alright. If not, probably back to study, to be honest.
Do you want the payout or do you want the...
Possible could get the payout and the job, so that'll be alright.
That's even better.
That's the aim.
Like me.
Yeah, it's a redundancy, a bonus, and a job would be the ideal trifecta. But probably not.
Our brother is
So which
under
is the
attack.
ship that can take over a planet? DDR class utility, right?
Yeah. CIA.
But Danny, do you go with the holy relics or sacred altars to begin with?
I build a holy relic in my home system.
I think I do as well,
So,
actually. To
so
get
you have 2 and 1.
Yeah.
You need 5 of each in total to get everything. And then in the next system, build a few of the others. You do want a bit of each.
and
so,
be warned that holy relics will use 2 slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your home system, you can build
Build one and
holy
that's
relic
it.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Our ally is under assault.
Fairly balanced approach is best.
So I've built the Council of Masters, Dan, but I've still got 0 under capital ships. Capital ship crews available.
Oh, don't wait for it to become 1. You can pre-order the ship.
So Dave, the other thing, with the DDR class utility vessels, the colonised vessels, they won't fly.
Oh no, it's built probably.
They won't fly with your fleet, so you've got to send them separately. They're not very smart units.
Because that's not your starting one, is it?
That's my starting one.
Forces have arrived.
No, you've got 2. You do have 2. You just lost them.
Okay, we've got
Have you sent him off somewhere? He must be out somewhere doing something. And you need to send that second ship to go help him wherever he is.
Of the covenant. The covenant shall grow by my hand.
Oh yeah, I've just got built.
Generally, after you clear a planet out as well, then you get the militia coming in straight away.
The ancient
So you may have to lead units there.
Yeah, don't rush out of the system too quickly. And then eventually your militia will show up.
Our ally is under assault.
Shouldn't need to wait too many seconds though.
It's generally as you bomb a planet, and just as you bomb the planet, they fly in.
You promise to live the truth.
Are you guys going to do anything?
Open a void.
Don't forget those leader abilities. Leader research. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's a beautiful oceanic sort of planet nearby my starting position. You see what's guarding it. It's just so many human ships. Might need more than 2 of my thingos to clear that out. So yeah, if you find a really good planet, expect it to be heavily guarded. Very heavily guarded. Oh, and I'm making a mistake. Sorry, internet. Focus on multitasking. Sacred Oaks.
Our brother is under attack.
Doesn't matter which one gets me now. That's the refinery.
Orbital structure complete.
That's the trading station. And that's the refinery. And that was a conversion.
Lots of deuterium. Not much of anything else.
Leverage and salvation.
So Dave, one thing you don't have to worry about this is trying to build those what are they called, the units that go to other planets and make peace.
Yeah.
Let's go charging.
Yeah, diplomacy.
Planetary improvement.
Yeah, there is no diplomacy.
Well, that's incorrect.
No?
That's incorrect. There are minor races. You can capture them.
Oh
with
yeah,
diplomacy
sorry.
ships.
There's minor races, but it's not worth flying them to your colleagues' planets.
Oh, is that what you mean? Actually, yeah, allied diplomacy. Okay.
Allied planets. Yeah.
Oh, don't you go there? Oh, no, you didn't. In fact, yeah, there's a minor race between James and I. Two minor races between James and I.
A new propagandable planet has been discovered.
Good, he's using his
Orbital
cloak.
structure complete.
Right, any chance watching, so I should probably zoom in on the ships. Give them a bit of action.
I've got two United Rebel front planets around me. Yay.
The humans fire from really far away. That's their other little advantage they have, long distance fire. But in the end, the Covenant can get some really cool long distance weaponry too. Now I need to start working my way to the ESGEM 50,000 shield ships, as they are immune to the flood.
Yeah, so Dave, under assembly, you want to work towards Cassie's GM assembly.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I showed him that earlier.
Yeah.
How do I do a frozen planet? Where
You can colonize it just like normal with nothing special.
nothing special.
Oh yeah, there's no planet text in this one, thank
No.
God. Get here yet? Yes, I can. That, please. And you boys can go here now.
Haste. Our ally is under assault.
What the hell? I think something's still wrong with this version of Sims, James.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a minor race and it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
I think that's telling me. I think it's the special abilities list that's in Japanese.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah, that was one of the cracks that I got.
Yeah.
One of the cracked versions. Yeah.
James is just joking. We're all using legal copies of this game here.
Yeah.
One of us, I own a legal copy too. It's just back at my house.
Sure it is, Dan.
Oh dear. Got distracted by the Japanese. Forgot what I was doing. Hurry up.
The ancients
Hurry up,
raised
boy.
faith. Another planet shall spread the might of the Covenant.
When it says placeholder,
Yep. You can
It still has stuff underneath it.
they just haven't.
They haven't named it.
With their faith.
I'm gonna need another military station, pretty please.
Yeah, so don't forget to build the civilian infrastructure up as well.
Yep. That's what I'm working on. Give me enough room for another military station here. So that should put me up to 4 holy relics, which would be enough for the 50,000 shield ship. It's another minor race.
Planetary improvement finished.
Oh no, yeah, it's a United Rebel front, but there's only 3 ships in there.
Right. Well, there's a swarm of them in the one next to mine.
Oh yeah.
Under assault.
Same with that oceanic planet near me as well. So you're purple, aren't you, Dave?
yep.
Yeah.
What are you, red, Dan?
Yep. Oh yeah, I see you. Oh well, watch it. Oh shit, you better kill those militia quick. Otherwise they're going to kill your colony ship.
Well, I've gone after them. They're so quick.
Yeah, the enemies will ignore all other ships and beeline it for your colony ship. They're far worse than this one.
Yeah, try not to die.
Because you can use distraction tactics in Armada 3, but they don't work in this
They
one.
were so much faster than those two large targeting ships.
Yeah. Humans are much faster in system, but terrible through the slip lanes.
Our brother is
Yeah,
under
good
attack.
planet.
You guys there yet? You are there. And you're a little bit outnumbered. Just a little bit. The range. That's
A new propagable planet has been discovered. We were burned out.
You'll probably kill those two quick enough after that.
Orbital structure complete.
How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I've got one planet.
Yeah, he's getting used to it.
Just getting used to the tech tree at the moment.
Yeah,
Just buy everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the simplest way.
Orbital structure complete.
It's not too bad on the barren ones. You can get a little bit of decent orbital infrastructure thing.
So I'm going for CAS ESGEM assembly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just do a fuck ton of those.
Yeah, don't build any more of the starting ship. 2 of them to clear out the systems I find is enough, and then you know, those ships are fucking useless later on. You think 20,000 shields? Yeah, great, now. Everything cuts through them later on in the game.
Planetary improvement finished. Planetary improvement
Excellent.
finished.
Just resources
Our
stopping me.
ally is under assault.
And can't do that one yet. Max population increase. Yeah, I should do that one. Oh, is that a 2? No, it's not a 2. Ooh, I forgot about that. So under concert, Ministry of Concert, and then concordant chorus, you can increase your population, but also your research speed.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, so we want a bit of that action.
How is the single man action going?
Oh, for the internet.
Orbital structure.
It could be for the internet.
It could be. That's on a different website.
The other bloke saying,
Come to my sanctum, baby.
Oh god. So you guys aren't building too many defences apart from a fleet. Types are so freaking useless. I mean, it's good to build a couple eventually because just to complete notes in case the flood will sometimes send some of their former prey at you.
Orbital structure complete.
And it's good to be able to clean that up.
The ancients grace us with their favor.
Got structure going on there. And what's happening here? We've got maximum of that.
So if you find a gas giant, they've normally got 6 asteroids in them, so you can fly your colonizer in, and it can take them one by one.
Oh, cool.
But then you want to have something in there defending them afterwards,
Yep.
The ancients grace us.
because they will fly stuff in to take you afterwards. Have we got the flood turned on?
yeah,
Oh fuck.
that's survival mode.
That's the flood makes you think you're doing really well.
I need diplomacy ship.
You know, they could be wiping out computers for us.
Doubt it.
We can always hope.
I might pay for that. Forgot to research the diplomacy ship, and now I'm boxed in with minor races on all bloody sites.
The ancients grace us with their favor.
Where are you?
Our
Scan
ally
for
is
a
under
diplomacy
assault.
ship. So I better pre-order 2 of them. Oh, I was having a real struggle last night in my test game
I think I had like 3 diplomacy ships blown up in the same system because it was a minor race that was guarded by those fast sentinel ships. Normally, most of the minor races are human.
Our brother is under attack.
Oh shit, I think I found the flood.
Planetary
Oh no.
finished.
Oh, no, what is that?
Well, I'm seeing no flood icons.
Hang on, it's lots of
It's
little...
the sentinels. That's a Forerunner automation sentinel ships. They're,
Just as much fun.
yeah, very fast, very deadly. What did you go in there with? Oh yeah, you'll be right. You've actually got a nice little fleet there. Nick's got 2 of the starting capitals, but he's also got some support ships.
I'm researching passing SDM assembly now.
Me too. Now, those damn diplomacy ships.
So Dave, if you can help it, build when you build repair platforms, put your guns around them, your turrets.
Okay.
There's something's happening in your backyard. I thought Jane was in the house.
No, she's not
Look
outside.
out the door there in front of you.
Fair enough.
Planetary Our forces hammer
Oh,
on.
he's only getting there now. Hurry up, bro.
Our ally is under assault.
I'm going to forget about the diplomacy ships, but I kind of want to fly them in there manually. After last night, I'm traumatized. Scarred. Oh, good thing I left my capital ships in this system because in comes a neutral militia.
Shall spread from
Are you scarred from last night?
I had 3 diplomacy ships get blown up in a row because it was minor race guarded by sentinel ships. They got to it so fast.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm just like, oh my god, I got a hand hold them into the minor races. I feel like I have to now.
Thought some Tinder reference.
No. Oh yeah, may as well do a bit of that now. Killed him.
planetary improvement finished.
Yeah. My attack that increases.
You got cheat sheets there. Is that crib notes?
I made a list of all the techs and what's required of them. I made it myself.
The ancient's grace.
Internet? Dan is cheating.
Oh, there we go. That's the one. Okay. Bloody diplomacy ship, maybe.
Has anyone found any secret items yet?
No,
I haven't explored.
I haven't done that yet.
There's a tech which makes it cheaper, so I'm actually.
Yeah, I've got that tech. So,
The ancient's
Yeah, that's probably something that I hurt myself with, is exploring the planet straight away.
Our ally is under assault. I propagate the
Yeah, let's not take those 2 planets. What do I want to do next?
Kill that drone.
Probably there.
Alright, so now I'm just waiting for enough titanium and deuterium to build my ESGM.
Oh, Daniel, you idiot. What are you doing? Jesus. Oh, that's a plan. I figured to do stuff with it. Just draining my money. Dumbass.
Yeah, do you know how to check if a planet's draining money?
orbital structure complete.
I just hold my mouse over it and I see it's
Oh no,
red.
Dave.
Oh, Dave. No.
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
So hover over your credits and
Yep.
you can see.
Okay. Yep.
So you know which one's hurting you.
Yep. Cool.
So you need to build the allegiance or something up on it.
Fleet. Okay.
The ancients grace us with their favor. The ancients grace us with their favor.
Okay.
Who did messaging?
Here we go.
Well, it's how you reply to the group chat about tomorrow.
Orbital structure complete. The ancients grace us with their favor.
Sometime this century we could come on.
The ancients grace us with their favor.
Oh boy. He's not going to make it.
The ancients grace us with their favor.
Oh, that's an empty planet. You idiot. You absolute idiot. Daniel, honestly.
Your
I'm
will.
probably going to... I don't think I've got enough firepower to take that on. There are so many ships in that system. I'm going to need one of those 50,000 ships to clear that out. So this is a minor race down here. I'm mixing up my my stuff. Idiot.
Orbital structure complete.
I like the tech for the shuttles. Ministry of Kindly Subjection.
Our allied planet is being contested by the enemy. Yes, Master.
Oh, do I need to bomb that planet?
The United Rebel Front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I didn't realise I'd taken a rebel front planet.
Who's diplomatic? That's all I say so.
Diplomatic community.
Is that a turret? That's a turret. I'm going to put. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Do you guys build the bladder ships?
The what ships?
Resupply ships?
No, I don't bother, but I probably should, because I'm resupply ships as well as I
Oh
need.
no, being attacked.
Oh god, by who?
Yellow.
Oh. They found one of the AIs. Must be between you and James.
Planetary improvement.
And the other one must be between you and Dave.
Our ally is
So
under
they're flying down
assault.
with 16,000 hit point.
Our forces have arrived.
Hurry up, the fighters are coming. Jesus. I'm going to start losing more diplomacy ships. I'm picking up right where I left off last night. Oh, Jesus, come on! Hurry up! You're getting shot at! Uh-oh, the flood have been activated.
Uh-oh.
And I just lost my diplomacy ship. Fine. I'll have to send these guys in.
Yes, Rover. Orbital structure complete.
Oh, I must have captured the planet for like a second because now I've got red militia in a system I don't control. Like, oh no, actually no, it flew in to help. I see now. Duh. Okay. So I got no choice now but to fight these guys. That sucks. Now, have they got turrets here I've got to worry about? That's a commercial station. That's a freighter. That's a dry dock. What's going on?
Your will.
Go fight these guys. Get shot to shit, please.
I've still got no mines that produce titanium other than the one in my capital.
That hurts.
Yeah, I have to buy it. There is a, I think it's minor race has some.
Planetary improvement.
Yeah, I'm not.
Our allied planet is being contested by the enemy.
Doesn't matter, you'll be dead soon.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Yeah, I'm not making
Problem
much, but
solved.
I'm making a bit.
Our ally is under assault.
Yeah, building one of the 50,000 ships.
They're expensive, eh?
Yeah. I guess you guys are horrible.
You guys take him out.
By my hand.
Okay, I held off my first attack.
Have you got your Cassie SGM ship yet, Dan?
It's on its way.
Building?
Yeah.
Cool.
Orbital structure complete.
Almost got enough to start building, right?
Orbital structure complete. We await
Good time too, but I think I'm going to lose one of my starting capital ships. Operation Distraction to let the diplomacy ship survive is it's taking its toll. Oh no. Oh yeah, he's gone. He's gone. More firepower than I thought then. Oh boy.
So assuming we don't get killed before that, whenever you're ready, Dan, we can start trading star bases, and I'll give you the. You can give me the stationary ones, and I'll give you the other ones.
Our
Yep.
capital ship shields are offline.
Oh boy. You need to take control of them now. Because they're gonna kill him. His shields are. Oh no.
Die for the cause.
He's gone. Oh, at least it frees up a cap ship slot for the other one, I guess. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Our capital
Bye bye.
ship
Okay, yep, he's gone.